guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you have not been here before, my name is Kitty. This is Kitty Cosmetics, and I am very glad that you came. Hopefully you stick around for a little while. So what we are doing today is a new series that I thought up that I'm going to be calling Grand Slam or Repackaged Jam. And I know everybody does that whole little like rhyming hot or not, glamour, scam, whatever. But anyway, my whole motivation for doing this is that there's so many times on YouTube that I hear people just saying comments about like another neutral brown palette, or oh my gosh, that's just such a dupeable shade for this. And it is true. There are a lot of palettes out there that are either repackaged, similar, just whatever it may be, that they're not totally unique and bringing something totally new to the table. So I basically thought that I would use my gigantic palette collection in order to, help you guys as the consumer decide if you already have this product or whatnot. Now, I have seen a lot of different YouTubers do this where they do dupes or whatever, but I'm not interested so much in the dupes and colors that look identical, because okay, a color can look identical, but that doesn't speak for its pigmentation once you put it on a brush. It doesn't speak for its blendability, for its long lasting, like longevity. It doesn't speak for a lot of different factors that go into play. A lot of people do not want to go to a specific brand, be it because they don't like the ethics of that brand, they don't like the cost of that brand, they don't like that it's not cruelty free or vegan safe or whatever. They have their preferences and prefer certain things. So I thought that kind of going on a like, hey, let's see all the dupeable browns was kind of just like, alright, nah, whatever. But I thought that we could do something where we compare the palettes to other pre-existing palettes by the exact same company that have been released, and see if the colors that are in the new palette are kind of just re-releases of colors they already came out with, or if they are actually something new and worth getting. Because I have a lot of palettes that, like, there's so many similar colors and I never go for them, or even repeats of colors in the same palette from the same company. So I just figured this would be a good way to help inform people and use my personal problem with purchasing too many palettes in order to, show you guys comparisons and what is exactly going on. So for the first Grand Slam or Repeat Jam, we are going to be working with, again, my new found love, the Kat Von D Pastel Goth, and these are all the shades inside of it. I have too many palettes that are permanent collection and have a bunch of colors in them, so the one that I'm going to be comparing this to is going to be her holiday palette from last year, Mi Vida Loca, and her holiday palette from this year, the Metal Matte, that one. So I'm going to go shade by shade. I'm going to look into each of these palettes, and I'm going to see what in that actual color family is featured, and then how they compare. So let's get into it. We're going to obviously start with the one over here that's going to be very easy. It is Skull. It is a white color and matte. So we have a white matte. This is Skull. In our Metal Matte, we have a white color that is called Linen. And in our Mi Vida Loca, we have a no plain matte white color. So yes, this is dupeable, but let me see. Linen is definitely a little bit on the paler side, but you can, I'm building it up now, and it can definitely be built up. So I would say these two are pretty much the same color, maybe a little bit different formula, but pretty much the same color. Next up in our Pastel Goth is this cool toned gray called Dagger. So I will get into Dagger, and that is what Dagger looks like. And now, I guess from Metal Mattes, the closest would be Stone, which is also a cool toned gray, but it is definitely darker. And then again, in Mi Vida Loca, nothing really stands out as matte cool toned gray. So I'm going to say, again, this is a new shade. It is not something that is being re-released. Okay, so the next color in our palette is this green color right here called Gloom. So I will do a swatch of Gloom. You can see that it's like a very light pastel. I guess it would be a mossy green. Let's build it up just a little bit more. And I guess comparison in this one would be moss. I did call this a mossy green, so, which is again substantially darker. And then moving into the Mi Vida Loca, we do have a bunch of options for green. We have Vingy, which is way too neon. We have Misfit, which is a real true green. And then we have, I think it says Lemmy, which is a super shimmery. Okay. So yeah, again, I'm going to say that Gloom is a totally new color to Kat Von D and not a re-release of a previously made color. The fourth color in the palette that we're going to do is Doom, which is this blue right here. So let's get to swatching some Doom. This is what Doom looks like. It is very vibrant blue. I guess in the metal mattes, there isn't really anything that's vibrant blue. Obviously, there is this navy blue, but, you know, that, I didn't expect it to even come close. However, we do have in the Mi Vida Loca this bright blue, which looks like it might be kind of similar. Alright, so that one is just a little bit bolder and more extreme. Let's see if we can build up Doom just a little bit more and get it there. Nope, when we build up Doom, it just gets to be a darker pastel. So these two are pretty close, but I will still call this a new shade. Next up is this light purple color called Dope. So let's get into it and do a nice swatch of Dope. It did come out pretty light, so I'm going to just do a second swatch. Alright, so this is Dope, and in this palette, I would say Ribbon looks a lot like Dope. And you can see it is definitely a little bit darker, definitely a little bit more on the brownish end of purple. And then for Mi Vida Loca, nothing really. I don't see anything. So yeah, I'm going to go with, again, this is a new color that I have not seen before. Alright, next color, we are almost done, is this pink color called Meow. And it is a light pastel pink. So I'll swatch that for you guys. Again, it came up a little bit light, so for color comparison, we will do a second swatch just to get good pigmentation there. So this is Meow. And I guess in the in the metal to matte, it is Silk. So let's try out Silk. Okay, Silk is pretty similar. And in this one, I would say probably Muse right here. Let's try Muse out. No, that is a very light pink. So now I want to do one more swatch of Silk. I also want to see if I can build up Meow and get it to the Silk point. No. When I build them up, it just definitely different colors. Again, we got fresh and unique colors. I wasn't expecting this, honestly. I was expecting to have like, oh, okay, yeah, that's totally repeated of this and that. Wasn't expecting this. So this one might seem like very timid and like, oh wow, she's being so sweet about everything. But I promise, like, I do have other palettes to review in this manner, and not all of them are the case. This is just the first one I reached for. Alright, next up is Clementine, which is this orange color. So we will get our finger swatch. Okay. In the middle matte palette, it looks a lot like Fringe. Although Fringe is a little bit more on the pastel side, surprisingly. And I don't really see anything in here that's light orange at all. So I'm not even going to try. But these are pretty similar. Let's see if we can build up fringe a little bit. And then see if we can build up clementine. Alright, they do get a little bit closer when you start building them up. And this is, you know, they're kind of similar in color. I'm going to give this like a 50-50. It's close, not a complete repeat, but it's close to it. You know, this one's definitely a little bit more vibrant. This one's a little bit more pinky and pastel and light and has some more yellow tone to it, but they're pretty close. And finally, the last color is this yellow, Star. And let's get a swatch of Star. There's Star for you. I'll do a second swatch so we can really get a good idea. Okay, that is Star. So from the metal mattes, I would say it is most like Feather, which is for some reason coming out like kind of whitish, but I promise in the pan it looks yellow. Okay, this one is just, again, a little bit lighter, but I'm going to see if I can build it up a little bit. There are different colors. This one from the Pastel Goth is definitely more vibrant. This one is more on the whitish side of things. And then from Mi Vida Loca, I guess let's go for Fran. Which is definitely a more golden color, but, you know, it's still in the yellow family, and I guess that kind of, in the right light, does look a lot like Star. Through this whole palette, I would say that the white is definitely already been done. This one, this one, this one, this one. This one are completely unique. This one is, you know, comparable to one of the shades in Metal Matte. If you already have it, you might not need to get this. And then this one is kind of comparable to a shade of Mi Vida Loca, so if you have that, you know, you might not need it. But again, you are getting all of these colors that are unique. So when we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have 5 that are good, 3 of them are repeats, 5 of them are good, I would say that makes it, you know, about 70% unique. I'm really bad at math, so that might not be mathematically accurate at all. But I'm going to say 70% unique is somewhere around there. As for packaging goes, which is another thing that, you know, you got to mention, this one does have the standard, you know, on the Mi Vida Loca, she had the tattoo writings, sorry about the middle finger, ooh, sorry. And then, you know, she had the ambigram tattoo style, and this is another tattoo style. I didn't bring out my Serpentine palette or my Shade and Light because they really weren't going to apply, but they also obviously have that tattoo style of font. But the thing that makes this package a little different, it is still the same cardboard packaging as this one is, and the Serpentine, well, no, the Serpentine's a little thicker because it had that gold. The same packaging as the Shade and Light, but this one is unique to me because it is smaller. Size is more comparable to other palettes on the market. It does fit a little bit more cohesively in my drawer, whereas this one is so large and in charge that it really just needs to be on display. If I put it in a drawer somewhere, I don't even know how I would store it in one of my drawers. Packaging is unique in the sense that it is a different size. It, you know, is a little bit different, more compact and more travel friendly, but it does still have that tattoo style font as well as the cardboard packaging. So, you know, I can argue that this is just the style that she goes for, where like you wouldn't really hate on Too Faced for doing another tin because that's their style. So this is her style and this is her packaging, and that is what it is, but it is not just like a completely same exact palette with a different name put on it. It is something a little bit different. So I would give this one a pass as a Grand Slam, not a repackaged jam. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys, and I do have a lot more palettes, as I said, to show you. So I hope you guys have a great day, that you hit that subscribe button if you feel like seeing some more of these Grand Slams or repeat jams or any of my other videos. And as always, I hope that today is absolutely amazing and that tomorrow is even better than today was. Bye, guys.